Good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. I've got questions for you. What opens with Mr. Fiance Phil sort of kind of on a date with his boys, and they setting up his bachelor party, sort of kind of. And what closes with Miss Darnell set up on a date the second or third time with this guy, Darnell. If you guessed, Miami WAGS, the almost finale episode, you're correct. Thank you for clicking and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I am Angela, and the channel is Be Fabulous You. Okay, so we got Phil +2 at the driving range. One is Corey, that's Faven's husband, and I think the other one is Kayla's husband. I don't know his name, but they at the driving range, you know, like a little golf place type hookup. And Ash and Nicole and everybody else is at the bachelorette. The women folks is at the bachelorette, and he is planning a not too crazy not too crazy out of respect for the Ashley Nicole bachelor party. Since she having a party, he gonna have a party, but he don't want to get too crazy. Phil does mention that Miss Ash got a little bit more bossy, or got bossy after the proposal. And Faven's guy, Corey, Faven's husband, Corey, says that Ash is a good one. So I thought that whole little dynamic was interesting, you know. But anyway, so we see Ash calling Phil. That's all I got. Then we at the Roosevelt Hotel, and is it Matisha or Mentisha and Hensha? She been on the whole season. What she do? I don't know nothing about her. I don't even understand what she doing here. Okay, but anyway, other than being Hensha's friend. Okay, so then Astrid, they're saying that Astrid is only here because of Darnell. Oh, that's what Hensha is saying. And she doesn't belong here. And she gonna control herself, Hensha. She gonna control herself 90%, but the other 10% is up to God. So she's setting it up so if she act a fool, she gonna blame God. Mama Hensha. Miss Hensha. Hensha girl. Okay, so now we at the bachelorette, and they about to go out into these LA streets and get lit. And I was kind of confused because this episode they were introducing a whole bunch of new people, but then my mother told me that these is the people from LA WAGS. Now before, when WAGS first came out, I watched WAGS. I didn't like the first WAGS. For some reason, I ended up watching a couple episodes of Miami WAGS and liked some of these women. But if the women that she said that they had on this episode, which will be coming up, are going to be on LA WAGS, they might hook me in. But I'm like, I don't know. I got enough reality stuff, because ain't Real Housewives of Atlanta about to come back, and Married to Medicine about to come back in like a couple months. But I don't know. They might hook me in this other LA WAGS. We'll see about that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, people. Let us proceed and stay on track. Here she comes. Here she comes. It's the video vixen. And they saying they got to Snapchat it, or else it doesn't happen. They talking about the party they hanging out. And I'm laughing, y'all. I've never Snapchatted before. I don't know a snap from a chat. I don't know. I guess they're short videos, but I guess my life don't count. That's why my life ain't happening, because I ain't Snapchat. If I was Snapchat, my life would be lit. Okay, so we at the bachelorette party, the bachelor party, excuse me, bachelor party, and Phil is hitting that orange juice hard, and Phil is getting massages for everybody else. And Corey and the other married guy are going hard. Mr. Phil notices, and he's like, he not sure if marriage is supposed to be so fun. He kind of giving them the side eye. And I don't, you know, yeah, shoot, don't be messing up your marriage before you get in it. Okay, so then we got Hensha calling Astrid a hopper, and talking about she hopping from table to table. You know, the child is socializing. And when it first started unfolding, I'm like, well, dang, can't the woman socialize? Now, I don't happen to be the person, for the most part, who, when I socialize, I don't necessarily go from table to table. But I do like people and meeting people and chit-chatting. And, you know, just because you know, a social butterfly don't mean you a hoe. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, dang, can't the child socialize? But anyway, then we see that Ashley doesn't remember, this is the next day, how she got home last night. She like, woo, I had fun. Girl, you getting drunk like that? Okay, and then they talk about underboob, a whole conversation. And well, is it Darnell? She like, well, I can always lean back. She talk about, you know, her breasts don't do whatever you're supposed to do to have underboob, but she can always lean back and show she got some underneath. Those girls are funny. I think Darnell and Astrid are funny to me. Astrid has her own. Oh, we find out not Darnell and Astrid. Darnell and Ashley are funny to me, but we find out that Astrid has gotten her own room. And then I'm kind of like, oh, well, maybe maybe now I understand what Hinchel was saying. Because, see, she know her. She have a context. She know about her. She been around her. I'm just seeing her through the TV. So now I just learned something about the child done got her. They having a girls trip. They all in the room together. This one done rented her own private special hotel because she met somebody last night and or maybe she got reacquainted with somebody she already knew, but she wanted to be in her own room. They so grown, these children. Okay, so you know, the child is calling her a hoe, Hincha, and you know, Sasha Gales, Sasha somebody. This is Faven's friend. She's joining the group poolside. We didn't really hear much from Faven this week. And right after that, Astrid arrives from her own room and her night that she spent mostly alone. And the woman, I guess Sasha's like, oh, I'm just so surprised that y'all get along. And I was kind of like, why is it surprising that, you know, they get along? Do y'all fight with people in your, do y'all have problems getting, do you women, or any women out there, do you have problems getting along with women? Do you fight with women in your normal life? Or is that just some bull stuff for TV? Because, I mean, I don't fight with women in my real life. My mama don't fight with women in her real life. My friends don't fight with women in their real life. I have some like some sister friends now. They fight with each other. They something fierce. But they have some other stuff going on, you know, and you know, it's just I don't know about all this fighting. But anyway, and Astrid says something, and then Hincha's like, blah 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 blah, biatch. Like, she basically on, you know, Astrid, it ain't nothing. Astrid can't even breathe too hard at this point, because instead of the situation with Astrid throwing the glass of water in Hinch's face a few episodes back, instead of that de-escalating, Hincha is getting madder and madder and madder and madder the more she thinks about it. She's not getting calmer about it. It's not diffusing. She getting more mad about it. Probably because in her real life she wanted to hit that woman, but because of the TV she didn't hit the woman. That's what I'm guessing is going on. But she's getting madder and madder and madder. So it's kind of like it ain't really nothing that Astrid can do. Because if she breathes too hard, Hincha's mad at her, you know, because Hincha's still mad at her about throwing that water in her face. But anyway, you know, Hincha kind of getting her butt a little bit. And then Autumn joins. This is another one. So we got Sasha, we got Autumn. I'm like, who are all of these strange? What's going on? That's when my mother told me, oh, these are the women from the other WAGS show. And this Autumn used to be close to Sasha, but I guess they got into a fight and they not. And then Hincha says she tired of holding it in. I don't like her. I don't like you. I never will. You are a hoe. You are a dick hopper. You throw a drink on me and I should have beat you then. You better watch your back. And then Astrid is like, well, Hincha's just talking stuff. But I don't know Astrid, because, I mean, I don't know Hincha. She might just be talking stuff. But I think the TV cameras might be a mitigating factor for... Look at how this light is doing. It's kind of weird, but we gonna keep going. I don't know Astrid. I would probably watch my back, because this woman, it's like it's a lot of heat there for something that's been, you know, a while ago. And it was water, I mean, but still, I ain't never had nobody throw nothing in my face. Has anybody ever thrown anything in your face? Okay, so then we see Autumn and Darnell. They having a side chat, and you know, Autumn is like, oh, it took so much courage and strength for you to walk away. Because remember, Darnell and her fiance are no longer. She broke up with her fiance at the end of last season. And Darnell was like, I'm always wondering where I fell short with Rashad. The way he goes out of his way to hurt me will never go away. Basically, they just more or less talk about the child. you picking her up, you know, that's it. And she's afraid that I'm going to be stable financially and everything, and I'll still be shutting out a good man. And I'm afraid that Rashad will always have power over me, and that I'll think that I'm not good enough for anybody because I wasn't good enough for Rashad. I guess I understand that in theory, but Darnell, she seems pretty stable, so I think she's gonna work it out. She seems like she has a lot of resources to draw on to, you know, life get a little tough sometime, but, you know, she seemed like she had the resources to go on and move on. So we praying for you, girl. I like seeing Ashley and Darnell in their interviews together, you know, and they green screens. A lot of times they be together. They so cute. What's gonna happen at the wedding? Oh, so there's some conversation. They like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen between Hincha and Astrid at the wedding? And Ashley is like, Astrid isn't invited to my wedding. She like, basically, I was kind of thinking about perhaps inviting her to my wedding, but I'm not inviting her to my wedding. But Hincha is. So I mean, I do like that Ashley is not feeling compelled to invite folks to her event. No, you're not coming to my wedding. Oh, no, you're not coming to my bachelorette. So, a little later, we see Astrid and Claudia catching up at a spa with Kayla. I don't really remember what happened in that scene, if it was anything. Then we meet another person named Sincerely. We got Sincerely, Autumn, Sasha. That's 3 people in one episode. The episode is only an hour. Okay, so she's meeting up with Hincha and Darnell. And Hincha is like, you know, Sincerely is really like a mentor. You know, I've been knowing her about 9 years, but she is still single. Maybe I need a new mentor. Okay, so Sincerely has a retired athlete named Darnell in mind to date Darnell. Aw. Okay, so then Darnell is like, well, Miss Darnell is like, well, can you think he'll come on my podcast? And they like, oh yeah, he'll be good podcast. He has a good personality. And she like, okay. Bella's standing right in front of my face. He'll be good on the podcast. You know, and she gone and promote Dear Darnell Girl. That's her podcast. And then Sincerely invites the ladies to a boxing match. And then we see Kayla and Astrid. Something, I don't know what that says. Oh, they modeling. Oh, they're doing a modeling. They're doing some shoot for Astrid's photo line. And Kayla and Claudia, oh, she's a Wilhelmina model. Kayla is a Wilhelmina model. That's like a high status model. She ain't no, you know, but you know, Angela's model. She like a real model. And Claudia just canceled at the last minute. That's what Kayla is like, well, where's Claudia? And Astrid is like, well, she canceled at the last minute. But Astrid is just going forward. But Kayla is like, oh my God, she canceled at the last minute. And she pulls her aside and is like, are you okay? Are you okay? And Claudia is like, I'm okay. You know, whether she is okay or not, that's for her to work out with her friend. And then the photo shoot, oh, for Astrid, she has a swimwear company. And we find out, I was kind of like, well, maybe this is just how Claudia does it. But we do find out that this is not the norm. Claudia does not normally cancel on Astrid. You know, that's out of the pattern of their friendship. Then we're at the Dear Darnell podcast, and Hincha is there, and Mr. Darnell comes in. I'm a big B guy. Oh. Darnell is like, I'm a big biatch. I'm 5'9". I'm 165 pounds, and she likes his size. And you know, he's saying she's his type because he likes her hair. And then they both find out that they like handcuffs when it comes to sex play or whatever. So I guess that's good. They have something, you know, they bond and they vibing. Then we see Kayla instigating drama with Astrid and Claudia. She's like, well, Claudia is too busy. I mean, what came up at the last minute? I mean, that's your best friend. This is Kayla talking to Astrid. I think trying to get the child upset. You know, but anyway. Then we're in Birmingham, Alabama. This is for the heavyweight boxing match that, you know, Sincerely had invited. Somebody invited him to it. And Hincha and Darnell are meeting another woman, Telly, and Deontay. He's the boxer, I guess. They in the boxer's room. So I'm like, he laid up in the bed. What's kind of, when I saw the preview, I'm like, what kind of meetup is this? And then Darnell was like, you know, she was taken aback. I'm like, I was taken aback as well, Darnell. I'm like, don't be inviting me into your room. You in your bed at home, sir. Okay, so then we're at Pest. I don't know what that means. Hensha sincerely. Well, we're at a restaurant. Hensha sincerely, Darnell, I guess Telly, and sincerely is like, well, what did you think about Mr. Darnell? And Miss Darnell is like, you know, I'm trying to break down the walls because he's, you know, because he's an athlete. I don't know if I want to deal with an athlete again. And Hensha is like, when athletes are retired, they are changed. I mean, they into business. They like a regular guy. I thought that was funny. So then we get the boxing match. See, I don't so much like boxing and the fighting and the head injuries and the violence and the beating and stuff and the traumatic brain injury and seeing people like Muhammad Ali going from being articulate to not, you know, having a voice. I mean, he probably has a spiritual voice, but I mean, you know, before he made his transition, it was like, yeah, I'm not a fan of the brain injury. I don't really want to watch and cheer while somebody's brain is getting injured. I don't like it. Okay, so then we're at the press conference after the boxing match, and one of the women, I don't know who it maybe it's Darnell. She like, that man just did all the work in the ring. She better do all the work in the bed tonight. This is probably their WAG, you know, their WAG ways. This is how you get the man and keep the man. He do the work, you know, as an athlete, and you do the other work, and you know, and then you live the life. Okay, so then we see Claudia and Astrid is getting in Claudia's behind, you know, and she like, you know, Claudia is like, you know, all BS aside, because, not Claudia, but Claudia is like, oh, I just couldn't come. And Astrid is like, you know, all BS aside, you know, you canceled on me at the last minute. And sometimes I wonder if you support what I have going on the way that I support what you have going on. And Claudia is like, I'm sorry, I actually mean it this time. And I was kind of like, what is, you don't mean it the other times when you say sorry? Like, wow. It's hard for me to Claudia, I haven't really connected with her. I don't really understand her. I don't really get what kind of, who she is, what kind of, I don't know if I know anybody like her, and maybe if I know somebody like her, I'm not close to them. You know, I don't know. Her vibe is just not my vibe. Then we see Darnell squared. It's a date. And she looks great. It's a nice dress. And then our Darnell, you know, she's like, he's a different kind of asshole. And the whole kind of dynamic of the date, I was not really a fan of, you know, what I saw. And I was kind of surprised when she said, you know, he sparked something in her. I was like, oh, okay. You know, I'm not, she seemed like a nice person to me. I'm not a fan of her dealing with somebody who's a butthole. And he seemed like, I don't know. I mean, you know, we only saw a small part of the date, so I don't know. But from what I saw, I was not. I was like, But anyway, next week is the season finale. We're working on 200 subscribers here at Be Fabulous You. Are you one of my subscribers? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for watching today. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's not your first time being with me, welcome back. Like, thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe, share this video widely. I love WAGs. I like Miami WAGs. I don't know about the other WAGs. But that's what I got, people. Today is the best day ever. You are the greatest. You're number one. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Bye. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Be you.